Today we are going to read this DHT11 readings in WPF C# application. So let's create an Arduino project, and this is basic DHT11 reading setup. We are just reading humidity and temperature from DHT11 and just printing on a serial port. Let's open our serial port and see how the outputs looks, and if the output is correct, we are good to read that serial reading into our C# code. If it says failed to read from DHT sensor, check your wiring, and once the wiring is correct, the reading will be displayed. And let's remove the message into a formatted bracket so it would be easier for us to read them and parse them in our C# code. So we make the serial settings in a consistent square brackets, and if we run the serial terminal, our readings would look like this. Let's adjust the 2000 millisecond delay and reprogram our code, and let's check open our rider IDE for C# code and choose WPF application, and I'm going to use SDK 8 for .NET SDK 8, and once the project is created, you are good to start writing your code. You will see an XML application. This is our front-end code for main window XAML, and inside this grid I'm going to create a simple text block. Inside that text block, that would be our heading, and the font size should be large enough to be displayed as a heading. And this hello world, if we try to run this application, it would look like this. And once we done that, we need to adjust the window height and width, and resize mode we disable that, and after that we smaller the font size, and yeah, it looks pretty good. One more thing we need to change is a startup location to center screen, and yeah, it is appearing at the center. Next, I add another text block which is for serial reading, and I can add a stack panel, and it would be vertically aligned to text blocks inside that stack panel. And I can change the font size of smaller to 225 and text align center, and just change the foreground color to blue or anything you like, and I need to name it something which I can refer in my C# code, and so that the serial reading would be displayed here. So yeah, the X name would be a serial vals. And now moving back to our serial port C# CS file, and I am importing a serial port, and I need to add a NuGet package for system.io.ports. Let's find that and install it into our project and press OK. Once everything is done, it should be available inside our project. It is available for these kind of .NET versions. And once done, and now the error is gone, we have our serial port instance. We are ready to initialize our serial port. We create a new method for initialize serial port, and we call it on a constructor of main window. We add a try catch exception and put a message box to display if any error occurs inside the try catch exception handling. And we done with the message box. Let's move to a try block, and inside that I start a new instance of serial port with the respective com name, which I can see from Arduino, and 9600 baud rate, and everything remain as default. I created a new data received method. This would be an event which will be triggered wherever a data would be received. I'm reading serialPort.ReadLine, so one line would be read, and I need to invoke a dispatcher because I'm going to display the reading onto the screen. I can simply do that with a Dispatcher.Invoke, and I simply put a serial vals. It is a reference of a text block, and here you can see our serial reading. So it means we are successfully able to read over a line from a serial port. So everything is working fine. NAN means over a reading is sensor is not connected, and once sensor is connected, it would be displayed the respective humidity and temperature. Now we need to attach a closing function to our main window, and once the main window is going to close, what I need to do is I need to put another try catch block to handle the exception, and inside that I put another message box to display if any error happens. And I would concatenate it with the exception.message, and what that would be inside the try block, I have to close my serial port. So if serial port is not equal to null and serial port is open, I need to close it. So once I closed the serial port, we are good to handle or properly over serial port. So what we need to do next, we can either add it to a data block, and yes, if we do it nullable variable, so we need to handle if data is not null, then we need to put a serial.text. And once everything is done, we put it inside a try catch block, or we go out and put or the global handling inside a try catch block. It's up to you. I'm just making it for the sake of simplicity and just copying everything from the previous code. So yeah, now we get back to manage our not null handling, and we are going to simply say that if serial port is not null, because we created this instance a nullable instance. So that's all about handling a nullable. I'm just following some linked erroring to underscore the global variable name, and that's linked errors which we are just taking care for the good code practices. And once that is done and your window closing instance is attached, it means you are reading properly and you are closing everything properly. Now we are just creating another function to parse over values from the serial port. We created a regex expression, and we are going to create two new text blocks to display the humidity and temperature respectively. And inside that block, what we are going to do, we are putting a name of humidity text and temperature text, and we are putting some dummy values for first start. And here you can see we can centralize that, and for that we just copy paste this attribute to text align center, and we can also change for the foreground color if we want, or we can leave it as it is. So this is a regex expression, regex parsing, and we just put it into our parse data, and we pass this data to our serial port function. And now inside a Dispatcher.Invoke, we are getting our humidity and temperature finally.